fee climbs the following an upgrade from Goldman as it prepares to hike prices. Music streamer spot fee climbed about 3% on Friday following an upgrade to buy from neutral from Goldman Sachs. Upgrade from the ahead of spot fee already announced U.S. subscription price hike. Next month its third since 2023. Goldman lowered its 12-month spot fee price target to $700 from $735. We are surprised how negative investor sentiment has turned with respect on the back to AI theme. In our opinion, we see Spot as well positioned to capitalize on benefits from rising generative AI adoption, Goldman said its Friday notes, adding that in watching how rise of AI music platforms could impact Spotify and its music royalty payment structure. Early this month, Morgan Stanley published a survey that found it up to 60% of Gen Z represents listen to AI music for average of 3 hours per week. Last week, Bandcamp announced it would ban AI music on platform. Final boss keep on tracking. Ethereum Treasury TikTok closes deal to operate in the U.S. TikTok has finally sealed its deal to establish a majority American-owned joint venture to manage its U.S. operations. On Friday, the social media company announced that its U.S. arm will now be led by three managing investors: Silver Lake Oracle and MGX, and each with a 15% holding, with ByteDance retains 19.9% of the business and a swatch of other investors, including Michael Dell's family office, round out a cap table. The joint venture will be operated by a 7% majority American board of directors, which include TikTok CEO Shou Chew with Adam Presser, previously TikTok head of operations trust and safety, its CEO. Though the valuation of the new venture has been shared, the vice president DJ Vance has previously cited the market value of TikTok's U.S. operation had about $14 billion, just topping Snap, and lower than Pinterest. The deal closes the platform's battle will kicked off its earnings in August 2020 when President Donald Trump first tried to ban TikTok over national security concerns. The announcement notes that the new TikTok U.S. joint venture LLC will secure U.S. user data, apps, and algorithms. Trump celebrated the deal, which has been signed of the both the U.S. and Chinese government. Per Reuters and Truth Social Post say TikTok now will be owned by a group of great American patriots and investors, the biggest in the world. AI has given public markets to the software stories, and it's spreading to private markets too. As AI replaces software engineers and vibe coding startup surges, hundreds of billions of dollars worth of ventures bet on traditional software firms and are facing a brutal reset. Alaska Airlines dip following weaker than expected 2026 earnings guidance. Alaska Airlines, America's fifth-largest airline, reported that the fourth quarter and full-year resulted from 2025 air market closed Thursday. Its shares fell 2% in after-hour trading. The airline reported just four quarters earnings of 0.3% share, beating $0.11 expected by Wall Street analysts, pulled by FastFact. Its Q4 passengers revenue combined 2% by 3.2% billion. Intel slumps after Q1 guidance disappoints. Plunge Power jumped amid the surge in call activity as CEO Andy Marsh hosted AMA. Plunge Power surged Tuesday, jumping nearly 70% amid elevated call activity as outgoing CEO Andy Marsh hosted us and Ask Me Anything on the r/Plug Power stock subreddits. As many as 192,581 call options change hands, more than 4x the 20-day average. Call options with strike price of $4 that expire in mid-June, while almost active contract. Marsh appearances will made at building support for board's recommendations that its investors vote in favor of the three proposals at a special meeting of shareholders late for next week. These proposals include allowing the vote for decided by majority of voters rather than a majority of shareholders, enabling increases the company's shares count. At a third measure of display, this special meeting in the event of there aren't even voters in either of these two proposals to pass. During the session, Marshall made the following points. Management really doesn't want to have a reverse stock split, but would feel forced to do so if second proposal fails to pass. Per recent filing for Plug without additional authorized shares, the company will not be able to control contractual obligations to increase authorized shares of common stock by February 28. Raise capital necessary for operation and growth and executives on its business plans. Plug plans to lean even more into opportunities to offer power AI to data center customers to Marsh writing. In Income CEO Josh Lewis, Crypto will offer details on its following AMA schedule. Stocks continue to recover from Greenland threats. The S&P 500 continued to climb, but benchmark indexes is still lower than it was previous to President Trump's European tariff threats. Big tech helped propel stock higher, while every Magnificent Seven constitute against the Russell 2000 continued its outperformed streak, beating the S&P 500 for the 14th consecutive session. November PCE, the Fed's preferred inflation gauge, remained in line with economics forecasts. Stocks that move higher, Arista Networks, reaped amid upswing in core buying. Moderna extended its rally on positive cancer vaccine results. Alibaba jumped after a report that company is planning an IPO for AI chip-making unit. Meta rallied as Jefferies analyst Brent Thiel doubled down his buy rating from the company, calling the stock a relative bargain compared to its Mag 7 peers. GameStop jumped after CEO Ryan Cohen purchased another 500,000 shares of company stocks per filing years. Tesla rose as CEO Elon Musk said in an X post its robot taxis are now operating Austin's without safety monitor. Musk speculated that company's optimism Robots will be for sale for public at the end of next year. Paramount's guidance take higher as extended deadline for Warner Brothers Discovery hostile takeover bid, giving shareholders more time, more competing offers. Oracle again Semaphore reported that China and the US signed off the sales of TikTok US operated a consortium with a software giant, three leading investings. Stock that moved lower. Point Technologies tumbled after announcing the pricing of its 500 million direct shares, despite beating the expected on sales earnings per share and issuing better expected. GE Aerospace, Abbott Laboratories slumped after reporting the sales miss and disappointing Q1 guidance in its earnings call on this morning. Stock whipsawed ahead of next week's big tech earnings season's chance for AI hyperscales to get their mojo back. GameSpot moved half its Bitcoin, triggering rumors it will dump the asset. GameStop moved half its Bitcoin, triggered rumors it will dump the asset. GameStop moved more than half of its Bitcoin base Prime, sparking speculation it would dump its Bitcoin holdings. The company, which announced Bitcoin pivot with purchase of 4,710 Bitcoin in May in a one-sentence press release, moved 100 Bitcoin on January 17th and another 2,296 Bitcoin on January 20th, according to Analysis Sani. Since May, GameStop hasn't bought any additional Bitcoin, corrects 22nd on Bitcoin Treasury's leaderboard. Rohan Hirani, co-founder of Bitcoin Quants, told Sherwood News that while we won't know for sure until the company's next financial filing would move assets to Coinbase Prime is usually a clear signal. Institutions generally keep their long-term holdings in cold storage, Coinbase custody. You typically only move funds to Prime if you are planning to trade or execute a sale. Holden said that moving 51% of its total stack is interesting, and it suggests that GameStop may be treating Bitcoin more like inventory to be sold for cash rather than a permanent treasury asset as strategy does. He added, however, that it does not indicate a larger trend as companies that hold BTC on their balance sheet tend to take long-term perspective on assets rather than speculate in the short term. This looks like a specific direct decision by GameStop to shore up its own balance sheet rather than a signal that companies everywhere are dumping.